It's an evil world we live in. It's an evil world we live in.
I just have to get the settings ready because it is truly an evil world. Welcome to episode 4, season 2 of All the Hills. This is the hill I chose to die on, aka Of All the Hills, aka Oath. So not only am I Ty, but I'm now the interim GM for the New York Mets because we don't have one. Well, we do, but I don't like them, so I'm the interim now. I'm also the PR spokesperson for the Blood Street Gang. No,
Put your mic in front of your mouth, pause.
No gang affiliation whatsoever, but you know, when we need good PR, I'm the guy. And I'm here with very polite gentlemen, like the politest, you know, all the manners on deck, all of them. Dwa Vocals, the killer himself, could not be on camera today. He's trying to protect his new brand, his rollout. So you know
I'm a new man.
We're keeping him aside, so you can hear him, but you can't see him. And then I mean, come on, recurring guest,
the biggest gentleman.
the biggest gentleman. Oh man. So I mean, let's get straight to the shits. Like, we're here to defend DaBaby. Like that's what we're here for. He's the villain of the week.
He's the gentleman of the week. Actually, he's a good guy. He was housing a woman that wasn't his woman.
He's the best guy in the world. So
remember, Mike.
This just, you could tell from the shit that. Okay, fix it. Okay, all right. Skank. What a guy! Look, see, this is the gentlemanly behavior that.
Yeah, man.
We speak of, like.
Yeah, Dwight. I mean, he ain't no bitch, but he is a little pussy though.
Yeah, for sure. But you could tell from the video. So I had no idea about anything with this coming into it. I had seen her before, but whatever. And so watching some of the shit, you could tell that he's never claimed her. He's probably told her from rip, like, yo, you could swing by, you could be here. And that's just what it's been. And I don't know what's going on now because something's definitely changed. At least right now. Well, change for her to be demoted on the starting depth chart for now.
No, I think she's been in the same place she's always been. She's just been looking for a promotion. That's a different. You know, when people start getting disgruntled at work because they're like, I should be getting promoted, but it's like, I pay you for this.
Well, yeah, she clearly thought that with the kid was going to come, you know, exclusive status, and no, I mean,
she just wanted some RESPCT, bro. Man, know what that means to me. I should have got a drink.
Help yourself, gentlemen.
Get a straw while you at it.
Yeah, right. Straw, the little umbrella. Put the umbrella in there. It's really cringe because, and I wanted to get some womanly perspective here. So I think we may have some people jumping in, maybe not. We'll see. But because this just is like, I've seen a lot of discourse happening, and this is dating. This is a guy telling you straight up, or maybe not telling you, that he wants this thing specifically with you, exclusively with you. And it's really unfortunate that a kid is now involved because, yo, like, say whatever you will about the relationship, like, he has to take care of this kid. And you're right to drag him if he's a deadbeat father.
Which he isn't.
But he owes nothing to homegirl. Like, and so, you know, we'll see sort of what happens with it.
Ty came right in. This is the thing. Like, Ty forgot he's on a podcast. No. So we gotta reel it in. So for your listeners who don't know what the fuck is going on, DaBaby was attacked viciously by his baby mom, DaniLeigh.
One of his baby moms.
Yeah, he only had. Oh wait, he
And
actually
then
has
other-
3 now.
Yeah, other ones were chiming in too.
But yeah, he has his first baby mom that everyone knows, Mimi, and then he like, I think when he got DaniLeigh pregnant, he got a stripper pregnant too. So like he has 2 baby moms. So yeah, they were talking. Mimi and the other one were talking, but I mean, DaBaby has always been single, even with his first baby mom. That's why they never have like any back and forth. But essentially, DaBaby knew, he just went through a whole situation with the whole AIDS thing. So he was like, I'm not getting fucking in no PR shit. So
He's had a 2021 for the ages.
so he was arguing with his baby mom who was staying in his crib in Charlotte, and apparently she hit him. And he was like, nah, I'm not letting this shit, get turned on me. So he turned on his Instagram live. They had a little, back and forth for literally 8 hours. She ended up getting charged for simple assault. Basically, he called her a side bitch. He was like, "You're wilding." She was yelling at him, basically saying we're together. You played me. It ended up, a bunch of Instagram back and forth. It was a good I wish we did the podcast yesterday because I was like really into it, and I'm kind of like over talking about this. But one thing I will just say,
he asked her to leave, right?
Yeah, asked her to leave his house. He's innocent. Is what I'll say. I'll just say that from the beginning. He's innocent. Women need to stop saying that men aren't shit when they say exactly what they want out of a situation, and then people try to flip it on them, and act like they're the bad guy when they've always said their intentions. He never claimed her. It's funny because I was talking about this. I wish Maya got on here. I was talking to Maya about this because we were talking about one of our friends' situations where actually this is gonna sound like I'm talking about somebody, but one of my friends. He's in a situation where he's with a girl, but they've never like really discussed that they're together. And I was like, he's gonna rock this out forever. And when it gets to the point where she feels like she wants the promotion, he's just gonna be like, yeah, we were never together. Even though the guy treats her amazing, I think I used to make fun of JR about this all the time. I used to call him he's the worst guy in the world because he's really nice to women, but he never claims them. And I always tell women the only thing a man can ever give you of value is commitment. If he doesn't ever commit to you, like women be like, well, he spent this much money on me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I spend, it's like I spend money on what I want to spend money on. But if I never commit to you, it doesn't matter. That's just my advice for women.
Yeah, especially if everything that I need out of the situation is already there, then it is what it is. Like, I'm good to keep this going because I've already said what it is that I want. And if, again, we're good, then we're good. And cool. All right, you'll every once in a blue moon make a fuss. But if you're still here, then all right, we keep moving. But this is where, and again, this is where I definitely wanted to have, women sort of combat this if they disagree. But this goes back to the whole men being the prize bit, because there's mad women and there's so few, I guess, what would Kevin Samuels call it? Like high value men. So this is what happens is that a nigga could be not shit, but he's better than the alternative.
Before we say that, what does not shit mean?
Well, this situation with DaBaby and
but how's he not shit? What did he do that's not shit?
To her, to whatever. I mean,
because he doesn't like her. Women don't like men all the time. Does that mean they're not shit? No, I'm like, I never know when they mean by not shit. He's taking care of his kid. He put you under a roof. Why is he not shit?
I mean,
he's spending time.
You're preaching to the choir.
I'm not preaching to you guys. I'm talking to the listeners. I'm just trying to understand what not shit mean. I understand it.
But they'll, again, somebody had put in the group chat something about someone, I don't know if it was someone responding to Udwa, but they were saying all this shit about childhood traumas and victim and all this, and it's like, yo, is Danny like not to blame whatsoever for this shit? Because
for choosing wrong.
from the all right.
You need to start
That's a good
bullying
point.
women for. We need to start bullying them because it ends up like it always ends up being men aren't shit. And I'm tired of women speaking for a 1% group of men and blaming every other man. Like, just say the niggas the men you like ain't shit. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's
A lot of times they go into it knowing it.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Son, like this isn't even.
Go get yourself a nice gentleman. Why didn't she go date Khalid or something if she wanted to date a fucking nice guy? That guy looks like a stand-up nigga.
He is the lightest nigga.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice boy.
Yeah. But this isn't even a situation where, all right, she chose a dude who had like no ties coming into it and he wound up not being shit. This nigga already had baby moms and he was in the middle of the shit that he's been doing. So yeah,
he lives a certain lifestyle.
You very much knew. And I mean, not that anybody that we were going to have on was going to be able to answer this from personal experience, but I don't understand the concept of just thinking that you're going to change a nigga. It just sounds like you just don't understand men. Like, if you think that you could really come in and you're going to be the shit that changes. Like, men are very much, like, I saw something on Twitter about somebody saying, something about men in video games and like, I wish a nigga would. And it's like, somebody was like, damn, niggas can have no fun, like, at all. They just gotta be here with you, miserable. And I thought about it, like, men do a pretty decent job of keeping the shit that like makes them happy, whether it's video games, whether it's sports, fantasy, gambling, whatever it is. Even dudes who are into like those like role player games or whatever, like Dungeons and Dragons. Like, men keep up the shit that like sort of makes them happy. And again, this is sort of generalizing, but again, women are sort of socialized to have a lot of their world revolve around just companionship.
This is a crazy hill, bro. I don't agree with this at all, bro. I don't agree with this at all.
No.
I'm sorry, talking to the mic, bro.
This is getting dangerous. This is getting dangerous.
And I just don't agree with it.
No. I'm not saying. I'm trying to say that
women don't have hobbies. That's what you're saying, nigga.
I'm generalizing. Like, I'm not. This isn't even a hill, but
it's a bad generalization. So I just get off it now, bro.
It is what it is. Like, it definitely.
It's not even true though.
Why doesn't it?
Women have shit they like that don't involve companionship and shit like that. What are you talking about?
So then,
why
there are women who are poets.
You're talking about
Ari.
Like, what do you like? Why are we talking about Ari? Like, she's an idiot.
I didn't bring up Ari.
You brought up Ari. That's who said the quote about she doesn't date niggas with video games.
No, but it's just that I'm just trying to say that men are just in.
Talk into the mic, dog.
The mic is right here,
bro. I'm telling you, you're not gonna hear yourself when you finish.
Okay, bro. We'll see.
You see how?
Turn my shit up?
Yeah, turn your shit up. It's number 2.
Okay, there. Yeah, your shit's way up there. Okay, look. Oh,
much better.
So.
Nigga lost his train of thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was for the best. It was for the best, bro. It was for the best.
Whatever time I say, you see this on another level.
It was for the best, man. You was going down a dangerous road, man.
This nigga said women don't have hobbies, bro, and he was trying to generalize.
I mean, we've had this, not me and you, but like we've had this conversation before. Like, this isn't something that's like out of thin air, but I'm just saying, like, dudes are gonna do what they're gonna do. So basically, what I was trying to say is, coming in and thinking that you're gonna change a man is just not anything built around how they're wired. Like, they are what they are. If they want to change, that's what's gonna happen. There's no.
I agree with that.
There's nothing to you being so fine and got all this shit going for you that's gonna change that if they don't want to do that. And so that's just kind of my whole point. It's just, again, against the whole I'm so great that I'm going to come in and stabilize. Now, I will say, because I was just talking about that episode that we did of Oath, we were talking about Meek, where yes, there is something to a woman being a stabilizing force in a man's life if he's out here wilding. We were talking before about Meek when he had like ran into 6ix9ine and he was just doing all this shit. And it's like, yo, like you're in such a different space that you shouldn't even be in the same spot. Like you are already introduced to people who, you know, the Robert Krafts of the world, the Michael Rubins, or whatever, like you're already in that world. So why are you even still over here messing with niggas whose whole goal is to like get you off your box and you know fuck you up and get you to come down to where he's at? So I do think that, especially for somebody like Meek, who's what, 34, 35, like, come on, like you can't be just out here with bullshit, you know, for the next couple of years. Like, you know, start your family, start getting into those type of, you know, moves that you can only do when your affairs are in order. But
that's if he wants to, though. He may not want that.
And back to what I'm saying about, you know, dudes changing when they want to change. But DaBaby, the point too is also that DaBaby also needs to get out of this because I think he's 30, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, you're 30, you got a few kids, you got a nice little career going. Like you just had some bullshit with getting taken off festivals because you were out here wilding. But you know, and I think that was part of it too, because he was apologizing. He was trying to. I want to give him credit though for calling the police because I mean this is the same nigga that shot a dude at Walmart. Like, you know, this might be growth for him, where he wasn't. I mean, he was going on live and egging it up a bit, but you know, taking yourself out of it and calling the police and just saying, "Yo, like I'm removing myself from the situation," is
definitely learn from experience.
Yeah. So, you know, something the grinds are turning, like he's learning here, but yeah, you got to get some bit of stability going because his career is only going up from here. I'm not saying that has to be with any of his baby moms, but you know, take care of your kids, stop being in these crazy situations, at least publicly. Like, I guess that's the big thing, publicly. Like, do what you do, but I mean, women aren't doing this with Drake.
That's because Drake is yeah, nigga. He's a mom.
NDAs, NDAs, and muscle.
Drake's the mom, nigga. His baby mom was a whole stripper. She looks like she's a school teacher now. That nigga's different.
See, but one thing about that too that I want to know, like, what did Jay Prince do to just be this nigga that everybody just buttons the fuck up when he comes around?
I think it's a scary nigga.
I don't know. Like,
I think it's scary.
I mean, could I don't know.
You could just leave him out the conversation because I don't want to find out either.
No. So I apologize if I said something because, dog, Kanye in that video was very much a, you are going to be here, you're going to say this, and we're going to hit end. You're going to go back. Too. Mm-hmm. And Drake was just like, and he ain't say nothing. Just like, all right, I made that call, and this is done, and that's it. The end. But what are your thoughts, JR?
As far as the whole baby situation goes, like if someone tell you to get out their house, you gotta get the fuck out. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like, because if a shorty came to me and like, yo, I ain't having sex with you no more, what I'm gonna do?
Mom, dog.
Bro, I don't care who it is.
There is a thing where it's like, yo, you gotta like respect like how you're treating a woman when she just had your kid 3 months ago. It's kind of nuts.
And you just had her, like if you were gonna kick her out, like, yeah, then do that before. Thank you, Memphis.
She's clearly going through what women, what is it called?
Postpartum.
You out here putting her on Instagram Live. He could have just.
I think that was wild. He had to put on Instagram Live. He could have just
recorded it. We shouldn't know about this.
What was the whole thing? So again, I didn't know a lot about this, but supposedly it started over like some Plan B shit.
Yeah, she said that she ordered a Plan B like to the crib because he had nutted in her and he was pissed about it and told her to get out.
That can't be it, bro. There's no way, bro. There's no way.
The nigga's crazy. He
Ain't no
didn't
way,
even
bro.
deny it. So I believe that it was that. Like that nigga's trying to have kids, bro. He's 30. There gets that point where niggas have money and they're like, yo, I'm spreading my wings, bro.
But you know what? With that type of situation, it just makes
It
you
did violate.
it makes you appreciate like Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like
The Cannon's coming in a whole different amount of money, a whole different era. Like the Cannon's way older.
is that like the greatest rebrand ever?
What, his dad? No, I was thinking about who
Nick
had the
Cannon.
greatest rebound ever. Snoop Dogg has the greatest rebound ever.
Oh, well, yes.
Mm.
Being a murder charge and
And now he's like the white guy, like the white guy that black people, the black guy white people call.
but also
But
like
still
the
true.
Crips
But still-
too, like gang affiliated, weed smoking before like we were letting that be a thing. Shout out Snoop, man. And where he's just now signing the Def Jam, that kind of confused me. His album,
I didn't see that.
and it's like his first album with like Def Jam, and I think he signed Benny or something like that.
Wait, when will we see ever on Def Jam? He's on Death Row. He's not on Def Jam.
No, now.
I know, but I'm saying you said how is it his first one? I'm saying when was he ever on Def Jam?
Well, like he could have been, like, because he was Def Row, then he was with Snoop, and I don't know what he was doing, who he was with from there, but you just assume a big guy like that would
I feel like Def Jam isn't one of the bigger ones. So
not anymore for sure. Maybe they're trying to restore the feeling, but
Best of luck to them.
for sure.
I got all his hills out. He has no more
No,
content.
I'm going back. All right, I don't think we can answer that. Yeah.
Wait, real quick. Even if she was a side joint, whatever the case, like she was posting all the stuff that he had did for her. Oh, but I'm the side joint. Yes, you could still be the side joint and all of these things happen.
That's
I
what I
just
was
like I've treated side joints very, very good. I'm just like, you can still be happy. I was
She's the
confused
general.
about her. So.
And people were like, I saw something where people were saying, "Oh, well, he's the idiot for like having a kid with a side piece." Well,
No.
maybe he thinks she's gonna be a really good mother. Like he's just trying.
Yo,
to set
thank
up
you, Ty, for
it.
saying that. I was telling
Facts.
that the other day. I was like, yo, people need to understand niggas who just want to have kids and never want to commit to anyone. And a woman who's having your kid and no commitment is a win. Like they're like, what about child support? It's bread to them, nigga. You're raising my legacy. Take the bread. I don't give a fuck. That's probably how this nigga's thinking. Like that's why he was
Facts,
nutting her.
yeah.
Get kid number two. The nigga was trying to get kids off a woman in her prime. No commitment. The nigga's a genius. I think other like regular people don't have that same mindset, but that's how these hood niggas are thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not worried about no fucking child support, nigga.
that's nothing. I mean, he was already doing that, and now he was.
Bro, he was taking care of Mimi's.
clearly-
He was taking care of Mimi's kid, like the one that's not even his.
Mhm.
Like that nigga is all about family. Like that's in raising kids, raising the next generation. So like, fall in line, sister.
Facts. I mean, and to a certain extent, yeah. I'm like, she think because she was treated nicely, she's the main chick. Like, what? Like, you crazy. That's the craziest thing I've
About
ever
it,
heard.
she was like posting all this shit about, oh, this happened, that happened. Look at this video.
The
of
thing
us
is, once again,
kissing.
I don't want to like come at her for it because once again, women go through shit, bro. I'm not trying to,
It's just, yeah.
I understand that, but even if he said I love you, I don't care. If you don't have a ring, you're not the main squeeze, bro.
Hey,
And that's his life. You number one, like you too grown to be like, oh, that's my boyfriend. Like y'all 30 years old. Like it's over for that. Like either y'all lead towards something or y'all not. And if y'all not, then enjoy the residuals that you get from it and just stay quiet.
fall in line, man. Like I don't understand why people can't fall in line.
I wonder if people were trying to tell her, like in her corner, we're trying to tell her to just like, because she has a career herself. I was kind of Googling her. And
I don't even know who she is.
I really don't.
This nigga said he was Googling.
I thought she was the girl that did the song with Chris Brown at first. I was like, that's not her.
Yeah, bro, that's her.
Yeah, she had
That's
like
her.
with she broke through like working with Prince, and he was like mentoring her before like he passed. And I guess she's
and this is where she's at, bro.
Huh? Yeah.
And this
What
is
do you mean where she's at, bro? What are you talking about? She's in a good position. She has a baby by a rich nigga in a career.
yo. Play the joint. It's an evil
Yeah,
world we live in.
And all of us come on. Probably off child support, nigga. Fuck. That's another thing that's been getting me tight. Niggas keep acting like she's losing. She's not losing. She's not. She's not losing, bro.
Financially, that's absolutely not.
Having a kid by a rich nigga, I don't care if that nigga is a dickhead, bro. The only reason you might hate it is because that nigga didn't choose you. That's it. At the end of the day, if the nigga's involved, which DaBaby is, and the nigga's cutting checks, what are you complaining about?
Go find somebody else.
Fall in line and buy a fucking dog, either or.
Yo, I don't think women actually try to change men. I think they feel like they're trying to save them.
No,
And
they're
like,
trying to change. Even from what, nigga? You can't save a nigga from nothing. It's a man's world, bro. We keep losing that.
Sure.
Make men again.
We're losing.
We're losing recipes.
Losing fucking
It's the
recipes.
recipes.
Recipes. Niggas is out here trying to fucking do all this bullshit, man. We're making men again. Short men up. You see what they
Sure,
did,
man.
But
we're not.
hindsight, I'm leaning towards Dwa now. Like, commitment is the one thing will make a
Only
man
thing
can give to a woman. Of like the only thing of importance to him.
Yo, you know when I thought of that too? You know how like Kevin Samuels used to always be like, to these women, like, what do you have offer a man that you haven't give to someone else? And he said that shit bad times, and I was like, what is he talking about? Because like women can offer you love, women can offer you a bunch of shit. And then he said to someone else, it's just like a man, especially a man who hasn't been married before, it's like, there's nothing else I can offer you. I can give you money, another nigga could give you money. There's always gonna be another nigga with more money, unless you're Jeff Bezos. And even if you're Jeff Bezos, he's losing his bitch to Leonardo. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be someone with more money. So it's like, at the end of the day, the only thing a guy could ever give you is his commitment, his word.
Okay? Are we saying commitment just in general, or is this commitment and exclusivity?
In general,
and like faithfulness. I mean, yeah.
No, you know how I feel.
Whoa, we ain't go all that. We ain't say all that now. You
don't say that now. As your PR. But while we were in the middle of this, a king joined us.
Yo, man.
Celebrate. I mean, go stream that out everywhere.
Yeah, before I start yapping, man, make sure you go stream Celebrate. It's a beautiful song. It's very positive during this time period. So definitely go check that out. I came in during the Dwa soliloquy. Beautiful to see the rebrand. It's just beautiful to see this man talk about giving loyalty to a young female for once. And
this is the thing. This is how I know niggas just don't be listening to me. I never said anything about that. All I said is commitment.
But that's like, a lot.
You're committed.
Commitment's a lot. But commitment, loyalty, those.
Those aren't the same thing. Those aren't the same thing.
No. I wasn't gonna say they're the same things, but I was gonna say they're both extremely important to a female.
True.
We don't care about what's important to them. I'm just saying what a man can give. If they value what they're giving. Like talk to me, like now this whole podcast is gonna hear that shit. But at the end of the day, commitment. What happens within that commitment, nigga, you could be committing to like paying a bill. You know, she might not want that shit, but that's the only thing you can offer that no one else can offer in that moment. Because at the end of the day, there's gonna be a nigga with more money, there's gonna be a nigga taller, there's gonna be a nigga that looks better. Same thing on the other end. And when people like start realizing that, you know, things will be a lot easier.
So y'all, how you doing? Can I haven't talked to you in a while, brother? I heard you out here looking for Miss the One as well. How was your escapades looking like?
You must be talking to the wall, man. That can't be me, man. Listen, man.
I thought you wanted to change your life as well.
I am, man. I'm taking a hiatus. I'm just falling back.
I think it's not falling back, bro.
Yeah, bro, stop talking when I'm talking, bro. Like, we already know who you are, bro. Come on, bro.
Gentlemen.
bro. You cut your sandwiches in half,
Sorry.
bro. Stop playing, bro. You know who you are, bro.
So I already got his white picket fence ordered.
That nigga JR is a bitch.
Yo, bro, come on, bro. Don't even do it, bro. You got grape juice in your fridge, bro. We know who you are, bro. Don't do it, bro.
So John, did you give your take? Are you pro DaBaby or anti baby?
Oh, that was the basis of the conversation. I came in a little late.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say enough to me, but nah, I mean DaBaby. I mean, I think the whole situation is extremely nasty. It's also very interesting to me because I heard of DaniLeigh prior to all this. Like I heard about her very, very early on in her career, and I thought she was going to do well, and then I kind of felt like she was getting into this Instagram game a little too much, not really focusing on the music as I would have liked. And then to see like now with the whole DaBaby situation, it just shows you, man, like, yo, this. I think people. I think it's so easy to allow yourself to be lost into someone else, especially when you're not truly like found in yourself. And I think that's what this is more than anything. Like this girl was lost in this man, and he did what a lot of men do, which is he did him. And she clearly saw things certain ways. And I'm not even gonna lie, he definitely added to that. It's not like I don't think she's completely crazy. I mean, I'm sure the nigga was letting her post videos of them together. Like it wasn't like he was like, nah, this is definitely what you are and who you are. He clearly was making her believe one thing, but I mean, it clearly wasn't that, and it probably hasn't been that for a while.
Can you just elaborate on that? You're confusing me. So if we're dating, right, and I'm like, yo, I'm not cuffing you. This isn't a thing, but you know,
but
at my mom's crib. If I'm making.
But words are one thing. But
I'm just asking another question. Hold on.
Okay,
I just want.
No. I think words. I mean, for me, I think words are one thing, but actions clearly speak louder. And if I'm gonna let any girl post me on her story, Instagram, especially I'm a famous person, like I'm clearly letting her do that for a reason. I haven't let all my other hoes do that. And maybe you have. I haven't seen. Status. But who is she to anybody? Who's DaniLeigh to anybody? It's not like it's Halle Berry. Like DaBaby's a way bigger person than she is, so there's no benefit to him allowing her to do that.
You could just not give a fuck either.
But I mean, sure,
it's not gonna stop him from getting no pussy.
That could definitely be that could definitely be a possibility as well. But all I'm saying is, I don't think it's insane for the girl to be like, oh, me, like this nigga like me, like
John, you're right. John, you know what's funny? I once again, this is a podcast, so I don't want to say too much, but this is just reminds me of what was gearing up in our friend circle. You know, where like words were said, like actions were, you know, different. You know,
no, but that's exactly where I see the situation. That's why I feel for everybody. It's just I feel for everybody involved.
Wait, but John, like. One thing we were saying before you came on is also his history and that he's had, you know, a bunch of baby moms and
Todd, this isn't one thing that you keep doing in this.
What do I keep doing?
That I don't like.
What do you like?
You keep making this too logical. Women when they're dating niggas are never logical. You know what I'm saying? Like Taki's saying, like, you know, saying, okay, yes, we know the nigga had baby moms, bro. Like we know it. Oh no.
Toodles.
No, I had the under
for the game.
No, for the third quarter.
Oh, oof, yuck!
That's so fucked.
Yuck. I don't know. I mean, I get what you were saying, John. Like I think he was saying enough to keep it current, but also keeping it at bay. Like I think we all know what that is. Like you do enough to have it, but you're also not going to the nth degree to be like, all right, yeah, this is exactly, you know, we're getting married tomorrow. Like
you're exactly. There's levels. There's levels.
But yeah.
My thing is this: like, I don't care how well a man treats you. If he doesn't say, "I want you, I want to marry you," and gets married, You don't belong to him. He don't belong to you. It's as simple as that.
I mean,
And you
I've been saying that too, and still just like doing his own thing.
you keep saying you were the main. The fact that you got to say you were the main chick is a wild statement to make anyway. But if you can't say you're the wife, then you can't say anything. It's all part of the game. All right, you lost. It's cool.
What really makes it cringeworthy too is I think the girl Mimi was talking about how, you know, she was just like laughing about it and people were giving her hell. But it sounds like DaniLeigh was out here just slandering all the baby moms, and you know, she had the Yellow Bone song, which whatever, but that she was just, you know, kind of talking her shit, and now like look what happens. And so it's just like, damn, like you're just down bad even more because you are here popping shit, and hey, you know different, you know.
Yo,
Hey
John,
man, pray for everybody involved. Just
before
pray
you
for
got
everybody involved.
before you got on, John, I just want you to know Todd said that women don't have hobbies.
This is not true.
JR, did he not say?
I actually,
This is my
Yeah,
jam.
I actually hop.
Not say it.
This is
I actually hopped on for that.
Just let JR.
I literally
say,
hopped
just
on just to hear what
confirm
happened.
if you said it or
Bro.
not. Did he
Bro.
not say that?
He didn't say those words directly, but that's the road he was going down. That's definitely the road he was going down.
but I was
Todd, to be honest, I'm shocked. I'm shocked and appalled.
no, but I was trying to talk about in the sense of a woman thinking that she can come in and change a man, and how men are just very much who they are and what they're about. So I don't know. And just the fact that women being socialized, not all, I did say that. is
Bro,
about-
just say what you're saying and say it, nigga. You still saying the same thing, dog. You don't think women have what's it called, hobbies, bro? Everything is centered around being social.
Yo,
but women.
yeah.
Okay, wait. Women
You
are.
basically said women can't have. You basically said women can't have fun by themselves.
Yo, Todd, that's an insane
Yo.
statement.
Okay, I'll fix it. But okay, women aren't socialized to like think about their wedding dress and shit like that. Like that's not in all the fucking Disney movies and things like that. Like,
Oh man,
That's just one.
that's such a terrible representation.
like,
of woman.
I'm not saying it's out of bounds. I'm just saying it's out of bounds.
I mean, it might be out of bounds, but like it's real shit. But this is not a hill. Like
It's definitely
It feels like a wild hill, actually.
You can go on this and not say it's a hill because
I don't
it
want
sounds
to die
crazy.
on this one. I don't want to die on this one. Go see Hall, gang. I got the spread and the money line.
Yeah, you're a true better because I don't know how you got that. But
Listen,
all right, fellas, I'm out of here. Just want to say hi to y'all, man. Make sure y'all go check out Celebrate.
yes.
Hey, Ty, I really hopped on just to hear an explanation for that. I'm gonna pray for you, brother. I think it's time. I think we all just need a little prayer. I will pray for a lot of people.
Yeah,
today,
I was
man.
wilding. Mad Wild Hills too. So shout out John though. Go stream, Celebrate. It's
King
on
Solomon.
everywhere you can find it. King Solomon, run it up. You're bozo. All right, what do we got next? Oh my God. So we talked about this a little bit in the group chat, but the internet being a wild place in like the early 2010s, like early to mid 2010s. And you've seen it so many times where people get, you know, old tweet, something like that comes up, and I mean, it's cool at the moment because, like, all right, shit sometimes it's like real wild, and it's like, damn, like you're in 4K. You didn't go back and like clear out your history, which I didn't have wild shit, but I cleared out what was like potentially wild shit for me. I advise you to do that for you if you've been on social media for a bit. Anything doesn't matter. If it questionable, delete it. But I don't know. Like I had a moment where I was just like, yo, kind of where's our empathy too, to just be like, for some people we're watching niggas grow up. Like we had dudes in our group chat saying they were 13, 14 when they, you know, created social media. And actually I just came across, it was nothing wild. It was just like, you know, poetry and shit that I had done when I was like 19. And I was like, yo, this is still on some random website. Like, and so it wasn't anything kind of like cancel worthy, but it was just like, damn, it was just a realization that, yeah, this is up here, but like this is still here. Like, and so I don't think people fully understand that when they're just getting their shit off at 17 and then you mature, you grow up and you're 30 something now. And it's just like, I don't know. So, I mean, some things are, you kind of get it, especially if it's like, you know, you're white and you're out here like being on some wild racist tip. But I think we got to understand what the internet and what social media is, and just that we're all kind of like growing up in it and also not understanding what it is at the same time.
Yeah. So the concept of that is totally misplaced, right?
Mhm.
So if you see something you wrote when you're 19, it's not about like just saying when you were 19. It's a transition into your 30s. We don't want to take a look at like how far we've grown. We want to take about who is that person, how can we demonize them? If you think like that today, I know you think they still think like that right now. If you think like that back then, I know you think like that right now, which is it doesn't happen. It's not feasible all the time. It's not.
Yeah.
I used to believe in a Santa Claus. It's like if I wrote a tweet when I was like 13 about Santa Claus, it's like there's no way in the world you still think I believe in Santa Claus now. We never try to look at the whole body of work. And that's what cancel culture is. I'm like, you don't look at the entire body of work. You just want to demonize this one moment and this one transgression.
Yeah, and I just, so much of social media is like a big gotcha thing, and it's not about like, I love stand up. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and Dave Chappelle to me is the GOAT. I do think him continuing to stay on this like track that he's going on is sort of beating a dead horse a bit, and I think he's already sort of made his statement with Sticks and Stones, like not even with the closer. Like he kind of said what he said. But I think so much of where we've gotten to with even Dave Chappelle is that he's earned us to sort of listen when he, like a lot of his stand up of late hasn't even been, oh, I'm out here saying like jokes, as much as like, all right, I got something to say. And we listen because he's earned that over the course of years, over, you know, walking away from Comedy Central.
Very masterful.
And so people can be wrong, like, you know, people can be sort of misplaced, and we can sort of try to say that and try to speak to that, but we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater at the same time. Like, because I do think that there's something, it's just who gets to be the person to, and this is, I think, a little bit of what he was trying to get at, like who gets to be the person to have the buttons, like you think of like a president having like the nuke control, like who gets to be the person to have the button to say, okay, this is wrong. And that's the thing I don't know that we have the answer to with cancel culture. Like, if like, all right, are you the authority figure? Like, because I think what he was trying to say about the LGBT community is that not all of you are like these people. Like, there are some of you in here who are bad eggs and bad actors, and you know, I'm trying to call you out, but I don't know, sometimes we all don't sort of communicate as well as we want to.
Kind of
One
like
thing I
you.
wasn't.
Like me in the last segment.
Chappelle is a master of telling a story, a very truthful story, but making it funny. Like he has the formula. Like there's no doubt about it. He has the formula. And I
You know,
just watched his recent.
Just pausing you real quick. You can continue.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chappelle, right now, him, Drake, and Kanye are all hanging out. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's kind of the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I think Jay Prince coordinated it too.
Of course.
So continue.
That is a weird. But Chappelle's probably is the mediator between them two, for sure, keeping it cordial.
Yeah, him and Kanye are like really good friends. But,
yeah. But I recently just watched his most recent like stand up, and I'm just like, he didn't make one joke about like trans. He didn't say one thing like, oh, forget them or anything like bigotry or anything like that. And I'm just like, I was so surprised at the end of it. I was like, I was waiting for the big. He actually made more Jewish jokes than anything. which is
'Cause
wild.
Josh-
Like, and I was like, and those are the things I was cringing at. I was like, oh shit, he's never gonna get another job ever again. And I was waiting for the other shoe to drop about like the transgender jokes, and it never came. But one thing that he said that was very, very specific that I understand is like everyone wants to like be the minority until it's time to be white again. And I was like, that's because the shit that's going on with the court case, this kid gets to pick his own jury and shit like that. Where's everybody protesting? Y'all want to be outside of Netflix, but y'all can't be here with us right now. And I'm just like, it's like a struggle Olympics, and I hate that.
I'm glad you brought up that situation because what's funny is, and I'll be honest, I also thought that he, like, I don't know where I got this from, I guess, but I also thought that he shot some black people, like, and so it was confusing to me when I like learned that it was like just white people. But I do think that this still no, I'm not saying that.
It's so funny that every black person last week had that fucking surprise.
Yeah.
I always do it as white people too.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I still think this is still an important thing. I think it's even more important to just show the shenanigans that be happening. Like, okay, just because it's white people doesn't mean like this is the same shit that black people have seen happen when it is a black person and a white person or, you know, a police officer. This is the same type of playbook. It may not be this sort of out in the open because this judge is like, yo, I don't care.
I've never seen
like,
white privilege on white privilege. I've never seen this shit ever in my life. This is the first time I've seen this. And I'm glad I got a front row seat. Like, this is crazy.
Privilege though, like you seen it with the Irish people,
mm-hmm.
you seen it with Jewish people. Like this there's
they were on the
history.
plantation with us. Irish people were on the plantation with us.
Exactly.
They were getting
it's
paid,
like
but
there's a history of this. But at the end of the day, I think at the end, it's just always going to be like who pushes the white agenda, because some white people don't put, if you're not pushing that agenda, you're standing with poor people, you're standing with, you know, minorities, it's clip for you. You're just like us.
See, but that's the thing that's so good about it. Like, I think when you rail against it, you also have to understand how good it is. And like, okay, we talked about, again, Irish people, Italians too here, like so many other white people got that treatment, Japanese, like of, you know, okay, we're treating you other, and then you get the acceptance, you get accepted into the gang. And then it's like, okay, finally I'm here. And it's not like, hey, what happened to when you did this to me and that to me? It's like, nah, like it gets to be somebody else who does it. And so, hey, like it's a really good system. Like it works. And the fact that you can take people who you did wrong and they can just forget about what you did to them and say, okay, I get to be the person doing that to someone else now, is like, sheesh. Like
Dave Chappelle said that in his stand-up, like it was this black slave who like got his own land, made his own land, and then bought slaves, and was like the most brutal slave owner ever. Like, and like whites would come to him. The system would have perpetuates. It's like crazy. Like, you got to remove yourself out of the system if you actually want to change.
And that's
but
what
he
I
was
feel
only
about
doing what he knew.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I feel about sort of where we are as a society with race, where I think some people are just looking at it very surface level and saying, oh, well, black people get to be rich and they get to hold these positions. And it's like, yeah, but you kind of have to play by the same playbook. And that's kind of the problem a bit. Like, so, I mean, it doesn't matter. One thing that I always like is Babani Jones. He's a analyst for ESPN, and one thing that he always says is there's not a lot of ethical ways to make $1 billion. You know, you gotta crack some eggs, you gotta do a lot of that, you gotta put some people down, and I mean, cool. I mean, if that's your ethos, if that's what you're sort of down for, then that's what you're down for. But I mean, again, it's kind of like what we're saying is you got to be down with this playbook if that's sort of what you want. And I mean, there's pros and cons that comes with it, but you know, you sort of, I guess, learn yourself. But I think we've seen too many people speak on, more money, more problems. So, I mean,
It's a real
I don't know.
thing, man.
I've always kind of treated it like I want enough to be comfortable, but not enough to have this thing sort of corrupt me and corrupt the relationships with people that I have that are still, I think, pretty genuine, and not about sort of completely
I mean,
what I can provide, me being a means to an end type shit.
I was watching this show called House of Cards on Netflix, and like,
I gotta watch.
it was I forget what episode season was, but it was something very very specific that I heard. And I was like, it's so true. It says money is one thing, power is another. Like when you get a certain amount of money, you don't even care about them anymore. You care about the power that you have, and the powerless is a very very dangerous place to be. Like just the one
Yeah, I
that
think,
controls something.
who was it? Which was it? Who was it? Who said who has it where like when he passes, like all his money is set up. I don't know if it's Bill Gates or if it's Bezos.
Bill Gates, yeah.
Bill Gates, yeah. And so it's just like, yeah, the money doesn't like, all right, cool. Like I can't take this with me. Y'all can do whatever. Like, and then even his divorce settlement right now, it's like, all right, it's nothing. Actually, watch Succession right now. You kind of see that too. It's I think loosely supposed to be based on the Murdoch family behind Fox. And it's just like, yeah, like I'll do whatever I need to from a money standpoint. Like all of my relationships are transactional for crying out loud. But again, that power part is the thing that's supposed to last. Like, all right, I have the ability to make this thing go away or get this thing that I want. Like that is the currency, not the money itself,
Yeah.
So.
And this is why a lot of like people with money
Rich man here. Does the wealthy gentleman in the background wanna weigh in on this?
I think life in general is all transactional. I said this before, and people think I'm crazy. And this is why, like when John was trying to change my commitment to loyalty thing, everything I say is very specific. Like I say what I say. I thought about it before I say it. So when I say life is transactional, it's sometimes it's not even money.
Yeah,
it could be like yo, this person provides me this kind of comfort or something. Like no one ever wants to be in a situation that there is no benefit for them. Like even when people are in relationships, like yeah, they're caught in it, but there's something that's keeping them there. And there might be, once again, people lose on transactions all the time. People lose on business deals, so they're losing on that transaction. But at the end of the day, it's transactional. I kind of got lost because I'm really stuck into this South Alabama game because I got 8.5. But one thing I will say is, I'm not good. One thing I will say is, when it comes to like rich people, everything about them is about like how things look and power. And like for example, like Ty was talking about DaBaby versus Drake. DaBaby only been rich for 2 years. He don't know how this shit works. Like how he's moving right now, like what I'm saying? Like he is a new, like people keep saying he's 30. The nigga's 5 years old when it comes to being rich. Like he don't know what's going on. He doesn't know how to operate.
Yeah.
Drake got caught in this shit. Drake has been rich since 2007. Or not even rich, but like
before he was a rapper.
He wasn't even rich then, but like he said he's making 60 racks. He wasn't rich then. I'm talking about like where he was exposed to this world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he got signed in 2008 where he made his first M. Mm-hmm. So like 2008, some niggas who are like, if you were born in 2008 right now, you're about to be a freshman in high school next year.
That's fucking crazy shit.
Do you see how long that is? Like how long Drake has been up? Drake said that in his, like, this is why I know niggas don't be listening to Drake's albums. The nigga said on his album, he's like, I've been doing this since T-Pain was pouring Nouveau. Yeah, like this is the year. So like to compare, like so Drake, how he thinks, like even him meeting Kanye today, they're doing this for a reason. The only reason they're coming together is to free Freddie Hoover, because Jay Prince said that's on Jay Prince's agenda. But other than that, these niggas do not like each other. Never like each other. Right now, it just works out for them. And I think that's how rich people will always think. I kind of don't ever want to get to that mode in life, but it's going to happen, the more money you make. I can't believe that just happened. That's gonna fuck me. They don't score in the next possession.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel bad. I might have jinxed you on that one. No, but it's so I just started watching Billions, and that's kind of the thing where I think the Kanye and Drake thing is sort of similar, where no one's going away. Like Drake isn't going away for Kanye, and Kanye clearly isn't going away either. And so it's just like, yeah, we may not like each other, but it's kind of like Kanye said on his album, or not on his album, on the first Drink Champs thing. It was just like, yo, we're both rich. Like we can't do anything to one another. Like there's too much money for other people in this with us. And so, hey, you either do your petty shit. Oh, Seahawks is playing. Let's go, baby. Money line and my spread. But no, you did it. No one's going away. And I mean, I was saying about Jay Prince earlier about him being, you know, like what is sort of the thing that everyone's sort of scared about, which I think just in general is the streets, because that's the thing that makes everything sort of like go away. Like, yeah, you're this
Really is
person.
a nucleus.
Yeah, like, but you still bleed. Like, this is still the thing that can get over on you, especially when he's both. He's in the streets and he's the founder of Rap A Lot. Like, so he's very much entwined into both worlds. So it's really smart on Drake to have a guy like that in his corner this whole time, because I think that's how he got signed to Lil Wayne in the first place, was having that relationship.
I think he's really smart about that. Like, what I don't understand why people say, "Yo, I want all of this money. I want to create a business, but have $1 million." I will never ever understand it. I've seen money at a very, very large scale, and I've seen money at a very, very low scale. I definitely don't want money at a very, very large scale. It's not even remotely close. The shit you got to do it. Number one, you have to change your thinking, like completely. Like all that emotion and feeling things, it's people like that's out the window. Your ego comes into play, and people need you more. You got to pay more bills and stuff like that. That's all. You never know on what the other side until you're on there. It's just as simple as that.
It's very stressful, like, because yeah, like you turn into, especially if you have a situation with people in your life still that, you know, may have sort of seen you through that change, and maybe your relationships with them change from something that was genuine to transactional because you have this resource. Like, I don't want to blame them for that, because you have this resource that we all need.
Yeah.
And then new people who come into your life, you got to look at them sideways. Other people just in general, and them trying to rob you or get what you have, competition, like it all seems really stressful. And one thing I say about athletes all the time, a little side note, but one thing I say about athletes all the time is how when they were practicing their craft, or when they were, you know, I want to get to the NBA, I want to get to the NFL, it was for that. It wasn't for being a role model. It wasn't for, like, yeah, they wanted the money that came with it, but they didn't know what that was going to be like. And so
Yeah.
I could just sort of feel for people where you now inherit this thing, you're in this thing, and so much changes and so much is sort of on you to make decisions and shit like that. And it's like, fuck, what do you do? And then you got people who are sitting here on Twitter, you know, saying what you should do and how you should react. And it's just like, you don't know my life at all. Like, so
Like, Twitter is a wild place. Like, everyone, there's nothing worse than an ignorant person with an opinion. Like, that's probably one of the worst things in the fucking world. And so, like,
I feel like we've all kind of been that, like, too. But yeah, I mean, you try to have those moments of like dialing it back and being like, yo, I actually don't know shit, and like I'm actually talking out my ass and da. But some people don't have that moment.
Like, when people talk shit about rich people, poor people, black people, whatever, like, you talking from a place you don't know anything about.
Say that all.
But you, like, speaking from a scope you have no
Two
knowledge
things
about.
that I hate the most in the world is when people say nowadays, and when people say, if I was in this position, I would do this. You don't know what you would do if you were in this position. And that also is like the whole thing. Like I saw a couple of women saying this where when the whole DaniLeigh thing was going on, they're like, it could never be me. You don't know what you would do if you're in that situation. You don't know if you're going to be a baby mom. Like you talking about something like there's a lot of baby moms out there. How you know he's not going to be you? You think all of these women just woke up and was like, this is what the situation that I wanted to be a part of?
Yeah, Brittany Renner said that. And I agree with that. Like I mean, I know we give her hell, but I do agree with yeah, I mean, you're bringing a human into this world. Like, I don't think you're really coming into it saying, like, even Brittany Renner, for all of what people accuse her of, like, no, I don't think she could have did what she was doing without a child. So I don't think her having a child was on some shit like that, you know? But yeah, no, I really agree with you, Dwa, of just like, so much of life is, you know, you not being in this person's shoes and not like you don't. Again, too many people have said shit like this. Mike Tyson, you don't know. You know, everybody has a plan to get punched in the face. Like,
So,
speculate.
Malcolm Gladwell wrote this book called The Mafia Bomber. It's like one of his latest books. But I realized like how we criticize our mistakes is one thing, but we never realize everything that we create actually destroys us in the end. We talk about the car and how it destroys our atmosphere. And social media was actually made for us to take down big companies so they can lie to us and stuff like that. So no one can be bullying us. And all we use it for is bullying.
Thing that was supposed to be good and look.
Yes, we use it for bullying. The thing we're meant to prevent is also the thing that destroys us. So it's so ironic that we criticize people for our mistakes when our creations do the same thing. The things that we try to mean for good ultimately winds up defeating us or turning us against each other, more or less. And so like that lack of empathy and a lack of like considerations for people's mistakes and things like that, just like it's only because it's not you that you're so critical. And how I look at it, like I think about like this may sound weird, but like I always think about the Bible in that sense, like how people say the Jewish people killed their leader. Like we do that shit every day. We never know what people can become later on in life, but we crucify them as much as we can, as often as we can, because of a mistake that we may think they made, or we don't know the whole story in general. So pointing the fingers is bad.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, and people are going to kill me if I get this wrong, but again, off the top of my head, I think that was the whole story of Hotel Rwanda, where, you know, there was, two groups. I think Belgians came in and then made the minority in the ruling class, and then they just went and just like fuck shit up. And so, yeah, it's like, again, you certainly don't know what you'll end up doing until you're sort of in that situation. And then, again, sort of something where, okay, in that situation, the colonizer is out of the picture, but one, I think power is a learned behavior. Like you do what you saw and you saw that work. And then, yeah, you were the people who were being beaten on and mistreated. And now look at you being in a position of power. And I don't know if it's revenge or if it's just what power gives you, but what happened.
It's a combination.
Yeah. And so I think that's sort of a little bit of what we're kind of speaking to, of just, you don't even want to be in that position to sort of, have to sort of wrestle with what is going to be out of that. Whether you have, money, power, whatever, like, so yeah, I don't envy it.
Yeah, there's this saying.
On one hand, I get I really appreciate, I think as Americans in general, we like really love a rags to riches story, but and it was great that you had this dream, you had this goal, and you accomplished it. But then, yeah, some of the after effects of it is just like, damn, like you didn't want this, and then like one thing that really hurts me, and we touched on this the last episode about Henry Ruggs. One thing I had heard was I think this was either a high school coach or someone who knew one of his high school coaches or grew up in the same town or something like that. And they were just saying what Henry Ruggs grew up as and sort of everything that he had to basically they were saying he had to do everything right just to get to the point to get out of the town, to get to Alabama, to then get to the pros. And basically from a kid and everything he was faced with to there, he literally did everything right to get to that point. And then this, one, whatever you want to call it, choice, decision, mistake, sort of unravels all of that. And it's like, I mean, again, we touched on it before of just like sort of having empathy, but it's like, fuck, man, like, damn, like, you sort of did all these things right to get out of what I'm sure is probably hell or craziness. Like, and then this happens. Like,
I think a mistake is only a mistake if you wish you could take it back. Because if you're just sitting there like fuck it, like it's not really a mistake. Like if you feel like you wouldn't change anything about it, like nah, you don't really feel like it's a mistake. But something like that, in that moment, you probably wish you could take it all back. Just praying for a rewind button somewhere, someplace, and just now he has to deal with it, right? And like,
yeah, I don't want to speak for him, but it seemed like in that moment, the video of him sitting on the curb, that I mean, clearly it's immediate. You see a fucking car on fire with someone in it that, you cause that. So, and then, I mean, the justice system isn't ideal and perfect, but you have this sort of one moment to try to express your remorse and hope that you have the ability to, not spend the rest of your life in jail. And I don't know.
our justice
But then
system is
there's
trash.
people who lost a loved one, and we don't got the answers, Sway. I think it's sort of the gist.
I think it's so funny that when we go into the courtroom, we have to swear on the Bible that literally talks about forgiveness and redemption.
I mean, the justice,
but we
fail. It's supposed to rehabilitate, isn't it?
Not according to the
if you send a man in a cage, for 20 years, what rehabilitation is he getting? Number one, he was probably safer outside than he was in there, right? And now he's in a worse situation trying to fight for his life. That rehabilitation is like the biggest nonsense I've ever heard in my life.
Well, it's weird because I think some people do have the opportunity to, because you finally get to sit down and you don't have the stresses of life sort of beating down on you.
But safety and security.
But yeah, the other side, like not even the other side of it, like 2 seconds later is this sort of chaotic world that, yeah, there may be some people who are innocent or who got caught up, but then there's some like people who are really sick and hard and criminals, like,
yeah,
and I mean, it's not like the fucking COs are like really here to protect. Like it is I've never been, but it is a lawless fucking world. Like it doesn't take a lot to sort of understand that. And I appreciate people who get brushes of it. And they're like, yo, this is not what you want. Like, and so I don't know, like there's a lot to sort of talk about that, especially with like hip hop and like where we are with that right now. I know it's a lot of fucking craziness going on, a lot of killing. That has really sort of blurred the lines of like hip hop entertainment, music and just like street shit. But yeah, I don't know.
And maybe the lines weren't blurred. Maybe we just weren't privy to it because of the lack of sort of looking for engagement with it. We can see all the way inside, but now it's an open door. Anyone can peek in and see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, social media. Like I think that really changed shit. Like I think we kind of talk about it in sports a lot, where think about The Last Dance, like all the stories we were hearing about Mike and, you know, Dennis and all these other stuff, and how it's like, oh man, this is crazy because we're just hearing about it, versus today, nothing can happen without it winding up on the Shade Room, Twitter, whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's almost the complete other end of the spectrum where every single iota is just like public shit now. So I don't know.
And so you ask yourself the question: was it better for things to be private, or is it better now? That's a hard question. That's a very hard question.
To be private. What are your thoughts, Mr. Vocals?
I think we're all doomed, regardless.
I agree.
I
Just
agree.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
The time here, man. Didn't mean to be dark, but that's just the fact of the matter.
It gets to that. Like, it gets to that. I try to explain that a lot. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I said something earlier about everything being transactional. It was I don't know if it was Winston Churchill or Andrew Carnegie that says you can make a trade with anyone because everyone always wants something. You just have to find what they want to give it.
That's interesting.
Both are very evil men, but both are like whoever said it is very correct.
But then it's a part of like whoever said it. I mean, it's just an understanding of life and people and how this shit works. Like, but no, I think that was a really great thing that Dwa said. Where, and I try to explain that to people who aren't Black, where it's just we have obviously all these things to sort of rail against that we continue to have to rail against, but then I think for the most part, at least I can speak to my own upbringing and people who come from Newark, where you also gotta have these jokes. You gotta be lighthearted, because if you just spent every single second just living in not only the hell that you might be in or that your people might be in, but just the future and how bleak it is, like you want to fucking kill yourself. So
yeah,
it's really like, you know, for listeners who may not know, like that's sort of, I think, the gist of Black Twitter, where it's just like, yeah, we're here for when shit goes crazy and, you know, we need to like talk about it. But then 92% of the time is jokes and it's taking nothing serious, because what's the alternative? Like,
a sad story. When Dave Chappelle told that story at the end of his his stand up about the woman committing suicide, I thought about that for a minute, and I was just like, that never made the news. Like I never even heard about that. Like that part of stand up was completely like left out in the news and stuff like that. And I sat there and I thought about, like, who have we killed with a tweet? Like we don't take enough responsibility for it. We just say we just tweet or just do things without any responsibility for anyone's feelings. I mean, even though we're not responsible for anyone's feelings, essentially, but like, who have we killed? Who have we pushed over the edge? Who was the last words we wrote that like pushed someone like to the circumference of like fuck it all? And in that story, I've never heard that. The fact that I never heard that story means no one even took responsibility. No one said, you know, this was our fault. We take responsibility for this one, and we'll do better in the future. All because someone defended their friend.
And that's the thing that I didn't understand. And before I ended up stopping, sort of going back and forth. But one, I think people ignored the grief that Dave Chappelle might have been going through.
Yes,
losing a friend, losing a close friend. I mean, this is a celebrity and someone who didn't have to extend friendship and getting to know someone that everybody likes to say that this is a community that he doesn't fuck with and that he's bigoted towards. But as someone who's a celebrity, he didn't have to get to know this random person who was at his show. And
or let her open up.
enough to
For
open
sure.
for him. And then to do all that and to maybe even break through some of maybe even things that he's ignorant about through getting to know Daphne, and then to have this happen. So I just felt like everything was like, oh, let's criticize, but then he did this whole stand up about her really at the end of the day, and we're just ignoring his grieving, like
Yeah,
about losing someone.
absolutely.
And then secondly, there's the
This was
whole
before Sticks and Stones even came out like publicly, and they're like, this was already so there were no jokes
yeah
even out there for real
at
for the
all.
world to see. This was literally just his friend.
Yeah. And then the last part about it was, again, that accountability piece where this person is going through all the things that they may be going through in their life. They're a part of this greater community. And then because they are defending someone who has had a personal impact in their life, people in this community who's already, oppressed and downtrodden and persecuted, literally, are coming at this like, I'm not trying to sit here and say that they did it, but like there is some accountability that needs to be had here. And,
Yes.
and I think that was what he was trying to bring up. And everything just became, hey, you said something that we didn't like about the LGBT community. Again, let's cancel you. And it's like,
And the thing about it, like I could see if Daphne's tweet was something like wild.
Mhm.
It was just like all it said he plays the field. That's it. And for y'all to drag your own kind like that, someone that you believe is part of your community, and you not taking any responsibility for it, is like that's bewildering to me. Like you skip over that whole notion, like completely, and
And
it's almost embarrassing.
and
It
and
is embarrassing.
it's a lesson too in terms of people within actual minority groups and actually oppressed groups who operate from a community standpoint, where again we talked about it before, where even if there's a difference in class, like there's also just you have this one thing that's still separate, like still not separates, combines you, where you do have that sense of like loyalty and responsibility to the whole. And then what are you doing with that? And I mean, that's a whole nother episode.
Kevin Samuel says black people are the only race that have no, like, there's really not a class system. Like, we might look at it as class, but like in the black people are the only community where like you can be in the same barbershop and you see like the richest nigga, a hood nigga, and the poor nigga all just sitting next to each other.
Mhm.
You don't see that like Trump.
Absolutely right.
Here, regular white people.
That's true.
He's
It's just
absolutely right. That's absolutely right, man.
That's
Yeah, he
true.
said
We
we're the
literally
only-
have TV shows called Barbershop. Like that people just come to the barbershop and just fucking talk. Like
That's why there's that sense of loyalty between black people, because we all still interact with each other.
And no matter where you go on the ladder, like you still have that sense of that is who you are. Like again, we all are working people. We all have had to do that bit of code switching between like something like this and where we are at work and those type of settings. And even to what you're saying, literally, like I lived in a place where I had to drive 30-40 minutes to go to a barbershop that like knew how to like give me a shape up, or this is before I had locks, like knew how to give me cut my hair. And literally I went to a place where the dude was just like, I was just trying to get a shape up, and the white dude was just like flat, like, dog, just fucking shave it up. Like you're not even cutting anything. Like so yeah, I get that on all the sides of just like we have that shared bit. And I mean, I don't have solutions, but I think somewhere within that is sort of the answer to it, where we need the people who are millionaires, billionaires, wealthy in those places, and we need the dudes who are on the street doing the,
yeah, from top to bottom, we need each other.
and if there's some way that they can sort of compromise, literally compromise, like not come in and say, I need these 5 things to happen, and then we can handshake, but compromise and understand each other, which shouldn't be hard because we have this shared experience. then I think we get a little bit further than what we've got and where we've gone so far.
We can't hide behind anything, right? Like the darker your skin, no matter like how nice you are, polite you are, you look at a certain way. Dude, you cannot hide from being black. You can't go to a white school and expect to get a nice haircut. I remember the first time I went to go get a haircut at my school, they pulled out scissors. I was like, bro, you gotta be fucking kidding me, my nigga. Like, you gotta be joking.
Oh man.
Like, there's the way we have to care for ourselves is a lot different from the rest of the world.
And
Even if you're Latino, like you could pass for like white if you're half white, something like that. Like, I don't know why there are so many like Mexican places that are white owned. That shit is blowing my mind.
especially here in the States, yeah. It's
I'm just like, what the? You know nothing about the culture, but you can assimilate to it. But you won't find like a Jamaican or African that's not owned by a white dude. That's just not a thing.
but something you said that like I want to touch on too, and like that's where I do think that because I think you just said something where it's like, you know, we have to sort of look out for each other. And I do think, and this is no disrespect whatsoever to interracial relationships, like literally someone who's had interracial relationships. I think whatever sort of happens in your life and what your sort of path is what it is, and who you're with, and like love who you love. But I do think that's where and kind of to bring it full circle to this whole thing with DaBaby. I know DaniLeigh isn't African American, but we have to also do that within like ourselves and our communities too. And kind of it's the same thing of trying to figure out how we can sort of work together more. Like again, I know I was getting hell for what was perceived that I said earlier, but
we perceived what you said.
No, because we are socialized different. Like a black man socialized a lot different than a black
they
woman.
have hobbies.
They do have hobbies, yes. But no, I think we need to understand each other a bit more, and I think we don't.
Sure, I agree.
We live so much. We said this last episode. We live so much in our own bodies that we don't try to take that like extra second to try to understand what someone else's situation is. And I've always said this, no matter who I was dating, that no one understands you like, for me as a black person, no one understands me like another black person does. And I mean, we need to be better to each other
The most
across the board.
humbling conclusion I came to, and I understand it now. There's a lot of stuff integrated into it, but I'm just like, I can understand sometimes when women say niggas aren't shit. I can literally understand it because of the stories I heard. But also on the flip side, there's also niggas that you're choosing or a woman are choosing. But there are some wild men. Like I've heard all the first date stories and all that. Like niggas are crazy as fuck. So I understand when black women are worried and shit like that, because like the story that I have, like, there's no way in the world this nigga did this, or thought this, or had this, or like had this concept and stuff like that. But it's true.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
I mean, I don't want to take away personal responsibility, but yeah, it's a cycle of just brokenness that just keeps happening. But I mean, and I'm living it personally with, you know, the next generation of, you know, my family, where it's like, yo, cool, that happened and that sucks and that stinks. But some of us got to be the ones to like put in the actual work to change that. And I mean, that's why, you know, I mean, again, they're humans and they can sort of do what they do. And all I can do is sort of, you know, try to, you know, talk to them and have relationships with them and sort of, you know, give them the male perspective. But, you know, that's kind of what I try to do with my sisters. And especially because we all come from the same bit of broken shit. And it's like, you know, again, I can't sort of make everything not like happen for you, but I can do my part to, try to alleviate some of it. And then if things happen, then like, okay, we move and we're gonna sort of settle that as a family. Like, okay, you're in this situation now. All right, yeah, cool. That may suck, whatever, but it's not just you as a single, parent dealing with this. This is like our thing as a community, because that's what this all is. That's I talk about this all the time with my mom and like family. Like, that's why I always talk about the weak way section, because when I was coming up and I got the tail end of it, it was a community. It was literally like, even the niggas who were out there selling drugs, doing wild shit, like this block of street, they knew not to do shit over there. Like, there was still codes, there was still something there. And it just feels like a lot of that shit's lost, and not just lost in terms of the streets, but just lost overall.
And that's respect to personal relationships. One thing I will say about DaBaby, even though he's a bitch ass gentleman, one thing that's very good man. But one thing I will say
very polite
about him is like, he's gonna tell you exactly what it is. Like, he's not trying to pull no roll over your eyes or anything like that. Like, and whatever decision you make with him, you've made the decision. It ain't got nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's very honest about his intentions and what he wants to do. He's actually brilliant, but he's also a villain. A very brilliant villain. Evil genius,
very villain.
if you will.
Very brilliant, yeah. Brilliant villain.
But you can't say you didn't know beforehand.
This is true. But we're working on him. We're trying to bully him into a very
tough
stable.
Guy, he's a bitch right now.
Yeah, You at Ohio?
No, I have under.
Oh,
I got that shit way
yeah.
before.
Tell me. This is nasty. But man, I don't know.
And then nigga sleep with the lights on because they're a bitch. Go ahead.
I do sleep with the television on.
I do too sometimes.
It's my night light.
gotta keep the boogeyman. Oh man. I have to pee really bad, so I don't know if y'all have something else
that's
to
it for
add,
me,
but,
man.
this is really
life, man.
I'm really loving, and I think this is what Oath has always done. It's really a testament to all of y'all who's always joined, that we have our bit of toxicity and getting our shit off, but then it always comes back to real good shit that I think people can always take and heed, and that's why I love sort of
we need to start
sharing.
promoting this better, and we need to start
really do.
planning it.
I do like the chemistry between y'all too. Like me talking to you, I do like the
Don't say
chemistry.
that because I'm not a podcaster, bro. I'm only here because people aren't coming. When people start coming,
nigga, shut the fuck up, bro. Nobody talking to you, nigga. Man, I'm just saying my piece, bro. Like, yo. Yo, nigga, sit on your beanbag and chill, nigga. We already know. And you a plant mom, pussy. Fuck out of here.
Stop this pie.
Oh my god, they keep calling flags, bro.
How much time is left?
Holy shit. All I need is a stop.
He's the reason I said betting. That shit's too stressful, bro.
It's so stressful. This is why I don't bet what he bets in terms of fucking units. Oh man. But no, this is really good. We do need to get better with planning, just so more people can join, because that's literally why I do this. I don't want to do a podcast by myself. I can't fill up space with myself. And
the more shares we'll get, I'll do the marketing.
Right. Yeah. And again, I think we have something good, because the whole thing, I'm not trying to sell anything other than just the people we have and who they are and just having real conversations. So I don't think there's really anything, vacuum cleaner or whatever, oil salesman-y about it. But no, we'll get there. I know my schedule's clearing up, getting a little more stable. Trying to find a home between John, Stephen, or wherever. But
it's okay to have multiple homes, man.
Yes, definitely. It's different feng shui in different places. So, no, but This
He's
nigga's
going
going
through
through
it, bro.
4 minutes. Oh fuck! Another score. All right.
No, that was the same score. They kept calling flags.
It was
Those niggas had him
replay.
4th and 20, and they fucking stopped him, and they fucking threw a flag. The fucking losses.
Well, I have to
Bozos.
join him because I think the Seton Hall game is still going on. But thank you all for another episode. Join us next time. Again, subscribe to find out when the next time is. That's how you know, because I put out another shit. So follow us all on all of the social media apps too, because we're great people and you love us. Peace.
Ah.
When you exit Zoom, make sure that